Hello, Fix-It Tony here. Today I'm going to be replacing this light switch, wall switch. It operates the lights above my sink in my kitchen. As you can see, the paddle separated out from the switch. It still works, but cosmetically, not so good. There's a little crack here too. I don't know what the innards is like. So I need to replace this switch, and that's what we're going to do today. I just so happen to have a spare one of these around, so it's very simple. Call it a single pole, which means only one power feed is coming in and one power feed goes out. That's what a switch does. So that's what I'm going to be replacing it with. I need to make sure that there is no electricity in here. Now, next to it is an outlet that operates, that's in my kitchen for, kitchen appliances. It's in the same box. I'm going to need to kill power to this outlet and the switch, so it's going to be dark. I could leave this outlet live and just be careful, but for best practices, I'm going to find the breaker at my electrical panel box that will kill both of these. Just to show you that there's a couple ways of testing if there's power in the system. I got one of these, I don't know what they're called, voltage detector. It's got a little tip in here. You just stick it in, and when it yells and lights up, I know there's electricity. Another way you can use just a simple voltage detector. This is also tests whether or not the wiring in the receptacle is correct. And you see two lights. That tells you that there's electricity on here and it's wired correctly. But that's just a quick way. You just plug it in, lights up, there's electricity. So I need to go find the panel box and make sure I don't have electricity in here. This is going to be a little trial and error. I'll see you in a bit. I'm back. Room is dark, so I guessed correctly. All right. So let's test for electricity. No light. Oh, I guessed correctly as well. First thing first is remove the electric cover plate. I've got another handy dandy voltage tester. Okay, no voltage. All right, so you're going to see in here these green spacers. Because this tile backsplash was put on after the house was built, the boxes are a little more set in a little deeper because of the tile. So these spacers help keep things, help keep this thing properly positioned. So I'm just going to use my electric screwdriver to speed things up. Well, that's interesting. So much for speeding up. This thing got all buggered up. Isn't that funny how even a simple job, something can go awry. So for some reason, this screw is coming out really tough. So now I'm going to have to get a new screw. And then I pull it out by these things. And there you can see black and white. There's no electricity in here, as detected by this. Now I undo the power first. Let me pause this so the phone can ring. All right. So you gotta grab it and kind of twist it around to free it from the screw terminal. And then the ground. Okay, junk. All right, so next thing is readjusting. This is why it's handy to have no electricity on. And I need to just readjust these hooks. Make sure that they are ready to go around the new terminal. You can see how boogered up this one is. This one's actually a little bit long. And this ground, you know, it's got a lot of paint on it. And I don't like having paint on my ground wires. I want to have a good contact. What I'm using is the these needle nose pliers have a little texture, and I'm just using that to scratch the paint off. All right, first things first, always do ground first. And then I'm going to squeeze the two wires together. Just a little bit, not quite touching. All right. Now it doesn't matter which wire. So one of these goes to the light fixture and one of these is the supply line. It doesn't matter on a switch which screw you put it on, because when the switch is off, the circuit is open, which means no electricity can flow. And when the switch is turned on, the switch is closed and electricity is flows. So it doesn't matter if it's flowing one direction or the other, because it is only this electricity is only traveling one direction. That only matters for lights and light switches, single pole. If you start looking at three-way wires, four-way, some digital switches, you gotta be careful because it will matter what's the actual line coming in. Now, when you tighten these screw terminals, the copper wire is going to begin to sort of twist and turn, and that's good. That's why you loop the copper wire around the screw terminal. and then you'll see how it basically touches the other side. That's when you're pretty much done. You can always over tighten this and break it. It is plastic after all, the guts of this contraption. I want to close it a little bit, help it along. That way, if this screw ever were to loosen, which I have no idea how it would when it's just sitting in the wall tight, it won't fall off. Here we go. Now, I got a feeling I had to use these long screws instead of the screws that come with the light switch because of the depth here. So I'm gonna try and just I'm gonna pull out the one screw, the one that was good, and then I'm going to put this little paper washer back in and just push it in. That helps to keep that from falling out. And then this shim, there's two ways you can install the shim. You can install it with the open piece on the bottom. Then it kind of looks like this, right? Or you can kind of go in from this direction if you want. It really depends on your predicament. All right. So now I have to tuck this wire back in. The switch is labeled top, punched into this. That does matter because you want up to meet on. So look for top and orient it. It's a little funny that your ground is up high. Sometimes switches it's down low. And you're basically just using the contours of the wire to push everything back in. And first things first, there's a little bit of tile glue right here. I'm gonna break that off. And then I'm gonna place this shim underneath. And then I'm going to start it by hand. Let me see if I can move the camera so you can kind of see the angle that I'm working at here. Okay, that's in partially. So now, I think this is grout. Okay, so now the question is this screw long enough? Maybe. Now there's not a lot of room up above, so I'm going to try to go from underneath. And then I gotta find the hole. No, too short. Because that screw's got a tip to it. Yeah, that's too short. So I do need a longer screw. That screw is tough. There. I'm going to try to reuse this. I'll just have to use the slot head. The star head is shot. And I thought I was looking for that black washer. I don't know where it went, but oh well. Don't always need it. Let's see if I could use my electric drill. That's about as far as I can go. Now I want to put my cover plate back on because I want to see if I have to go in a little more, and yeah, you see how the plate's a little wobbly. So I do need to go in a little more. So there, that's better. So then the next part is, if you did it right, the holes will line up. So then you don't have to adjust the slide switch. The two top ones are lined up right. I didn't touch this receptacle, so I know that one's good. And the bottom hole is a little bit too much to the right. So what I'm gonna do is hit it to the right a little bit. And there you go. And then I reinstall the cover plate. I don't tighten it all the way, you shouldn't, because the pressure could distort the plate. Now most of these plates nowadays are made of like a vinyl, so you can really tighten them quite a bit. Part of the tightening process does secure and stabilize the receptacle and the switch. And a hallmark of a good electrician is when you tighten these, they should all be in the same direction, vertical. All right, so always be 100% vertical, then it looks nice having that symmetry. There you go. Thank you for watching. This is a switch replacement. Please like and subscribe my video, and I appreciate your time watching. Bye.